Hi, this is Captain Mike, and this is the first video in what I hope will be a series of videos about operating your microwave kiln. This first video is about the very basic things that you will need to create a simple pendant. Nothing fancy, just a simple pendant. You of course will need a microwave kiln, and they come in a bunch of different sizes. This one is an extra large. Bought it off on Amazon. It's not the most expensive one. I think it costs about $41. They come lined with this graphite, which is what makes the microwaves heat the object up that you place in the kiln. When you first get the kiln, you'll need to unbox it, and you'll need to put some Kiln Wash on this material that the kiln is made out of, so that glass will not stick to this, because if glass sticks to it, it will pull the material up and it will ruin this platform. So you'll put 2 coats of Kiln Wash on here, which is just a powder mixed with water. It's very cheap. It's easy to apply. You mix it up to the consistency of about buttermilk. You will put it on with your brush, 2 coats, let it dry, and you're ready to go. You of course will need some kiln paper also as a backup, just a precaution. The kiln paper is just a material that's fireproof. It's got a binder in it that will burn off and just leave the white residue that the glass will not go through, and you simply stick it there. And the reason you do that is if something happens, your glass slides off the paper or so, then it won't burn completely through. If it burns through both the kiln paper and this, then it'll ruin your kiln, and so you don't want that to happen. The next thing that you'll need is some basic tools. If you don't already have these, you can pick them up Hobby Lobby. You can get them online. A set of nippers. They are for shaping your glass if you wish to shape it. Real easy to use, but like that, click them together and they break off little pieces. But a good set of nippers, a set of runners, and the runners are when you take a piece of glass and you score it with your glass cutter, and boom, it pops them too nice and straight. And of course you will need glass cutters, and they come in all kinds of sizes, shapes, colors. This is a basic one right here. A lot of people use it. This is a more expensive one. I don't particularly like it, but some people do. And then this is the pistol grip one that I personally like. Find out all you need to know about glass cutters. Get online and get on Wikipedia, go to other YouTube videos, and they'll go into great detail. And I'm not going into detail about much of this stuff. And lastly, you will need some glass. And you can use any kind of glass to make a pendant. You can use wine bottles, beer bottles, scrap glass from glass blowing operations. You can use window glass, which is called float glass, and you can use scrap glass from stained glass operations. What we have here is this is just a piece of a blue beer bottle, and you take it and put it in here, melt it down, and it'll make a pendant. This is the top off of a wine bottle, and it's made a nice, neat little round thing. But this is another piece of a slice cut out of a wine bottle, and this is a chunk of a glass from a hot glass operation, and this is a piece of glass from a billet that I made, where I melted a whole lot of glass together, cut it up with a tile saw, and you get that. And you get your regular 3mm glass from stained glass operations, or from fused glass operations, and you stick it in the microwave kiln and it looks like that. And lastly, all the scrap glass that people have left over. You just get it, stack it neatly on top of your kiln paper, and boom, it makes a nice pendant. Now, just a technical word here about glass. You can't mix it, and you need to be aware that there are commercially several different types. There's COE 90, COE 96. There is also some other different COEs, and as I said, wine bottles, beer bottles, float glass. Keep those separated. Don't try to use them together. Now, if you want to reinvent the wheel, go ahead. I did it, and you probably will too. But be advised that 99% of the time, you're going to find out that the other folks were right. It doesn't mix. Sometimes you have a success. Most of the time, you don't. But all you have to do when you get ready to fire this kiln up and make your pendant is put your paper, put the object that you're going to you want to fuse on there, and put it in the microwave. And that's what we are going to do now. I'm going to take you over to the microwave, and we're going to discuss microwave kilns and a few tips there. Okay, this is my microwave that I use. I have 3 or 4 microwaves. The kiln manufacturer will point out that you need to use a 1200 watt microwave or 1000 watt microwave for the best results, and they're correct. You can, however, use a smaller microwave. I have over here next to it, this is a 700 watt. I've used it a lot. It'll do the same thing. It just takes a little longer. And a lot of people tell you not to use the carousel in here, or the turntable. I use one. Just make sure it turns smoothly. If you don't use the turntable, you're going to have to turn every time you check this. You have to turn it because microwaves don't heat evenly, and it'll cause your glass to heat wrong on one side. And when you get into some more advanced pendants, you're going to find that's a problem. I use the turntable. I use this 1000 watt microwave, and all you have to do is, as I said before, is center it up like that. Put your kiln top on, and you're ready to go. Now, I zap my glass in 3-minute segments. Please get on YouTube and watch everybody else's video. There's just a ton of them about microwave kilns. They all have something to add, and none of them necessarily agree on time, but the theme is the same. I use 3 minutes because you want to, let's just assume that I'm not going to make you go through the whole doggone thing, but I put 3 minutes, I start it, it'll turn a while. When the 3 minutes is up, I open it up and I look in it. And the reason I do that is I want to make sure that my glass is still the way I left it, that it hasn't busted. When you're using chunks of glass, sometimes air pockets in them will cause the glass to explode, and it'll throw it around in your kiln. This is really important. And once it throws it around in that kiln, if it gets off on the edges and it sticks to that graphite, it's going to damage your kiln. So if you catch it before it goes molten, then you can correct it. So I'll check it about every 3 minutes. As a rule, that microwave kiln will turn a piece of glass into a pendant, a round pendant or roughly round pendant, in around 9 minutes. You'll learn as you use these things to how to adjust it. You may put more time, a little bit less time, until you get the way you want it. But just for grins and giggles, your first pendant, stick a piece of glass in there, zap it 3 minutes, look at it, zap it some more, and just keep zapping it at 3-minute intervals until it turns cherry red, and it starts to form a circle. And that's about as far as you want to go for the first one, just to see what it looks like. And when that happens, then you go ahead and let it sit in here for a couple of minutes. Then you want to take it out and set it on some kind of surface. I have a piece of granite over here. This doesn't get hot. I pick it up with my hands. You want to use gloves, that's absolutely fine. And of course, glasses. But you can pick it up, set it up, let it sit for 5 or 6 minutes, and then I wedge it open with something until it cools down to where you can handle it. And once you do that, you open it up and you have your pendant. And that's all there is to it. It's as simple as that. I will put where I get this kiln, I'll put it in the annotations down at the bottom, so that you can go on Amazon and look at it if you want to, and you can buy one from whatever merchant you wish. I hope you have good luck with this. Thank you for watching.